Esta nueva serie dramática History es grabada en República Checa y Croacia y nos adentra dentro de lo más profundo e íntimo del mundo clandestino de la legendaria hermandad de estos monjes guerreros. Desde sus batallas en Tierra Santa, los conflictos con el rey de Francia y la traición que finalmente los llevaría a su trágica disolución el viernes 13 de 1307, fecha que hasta hoy es sinónimo de mala suerte. Esto es Knightfall.
It's an enormous pleasure to be here in Mexico promoting Knightfall, our new show that's out now. It's an absolute joy, yeah.
We want to know more about Knightfall. Can you tell us a little bit about what are we going to see on these new episodes?
Well, for the first time, you're going to see a show focused just on the Knights Templar, who were the most elite and mysterious military order of the medieval period. I mean, still they had this glamour and iconography about them. And so our show, for the first time, is focusing just on them. We're surrounded by real history and real historical characters, but through that we have our story, which is fantasy. Within that historical framework, we have the Knights Templar characters themselves. I play Tancred, along with Landry and Gawain. We are the main three Templar Knights. And you follow our story when we lose the Battle of Acre. So we lose our holdings in the Holy Land and we come back to Paris. And that's when you join us, right at the story as it starts to end for the Templars.
Of God, rise, Master of the Temple.
Rise, Master of the Temple.
And find us the Grail.
Bueno, ustedes se preguntarán cómo hacen que cada detalle luzca impecable al momento de hacer que nosotros regresemos a esa Edad Media. Pues para eso hay una persona específica. Él es un consultor, por eso me encuentro con Dan Jones, History Consultant. It's a pleasure being with you.
It's a pleasure being with you too. I was writing a book about the Templars, and I was reading in the newspaper that history had commissioned a show about the Templars called Knightfall, and I thought, now I can't make my show about Knightfall. So, but I got in touch with Don Hanfield and Richard Rayner, the co-creators, and I said, I'm writing a book, you're making a show, let's be friends. And they started sending me pilot script. I was reading it, making some suggestions for how the history and the fiction could be more closely aligned. And then we just carried on working together, and I'm still here.
I imagine it's difficult if we go back on time, on the Middle Age. What was the most difficult about getting inside that age?
Well, it was kind of difficult getting inside the armor. Because it was very heavy, and the wonderful Diana Cilliers, who was the costume designer, decided early on that she would use real armor, real chainmail. So I'm making a little joke there, but it's serious as well, because when you play a role like this, these guys were expert horsemen, expert fighters, and they lived this austere life. So when you wear these costumes, and when you train on a horse, and when you train with swordsmen, your body, as well as your brain and your spirit, start to feel and understand what it must have been like in a small way, what it must have been like, and then our imaginations take over.
You spat on every value we hold dear.
The Grail will destroy us all.
Y lastimosamente todo tiene un final, pero lo que sí es que a partir de hoy tendremos 10 episodios con una superproducción que nos llevan a la Edad Media, donde podremos observar la épica lucha de templarios por el Santo Grial. Yo soy Luli Figueroa, nos vemos a la próxima, regresamos a Tu Casa TV.
El Grial nos destruirá a todos.